What?
Wonderful intro. Hey, folks, how we going?
Either one.
No, it was just funny how
it has to
you
be done.
screwed
I
up.
have to do something
So we are here,
different now.
another episode of the For a Laugh podcast.
Yellow.
Lovely to see you all. Yellow mellow. That is a great
Because
place to start, my wonderful feathered friend.
why do we have glasses, Dan?
We have glasses right now because we are going to do what are we going to do? What do you call that? A shandy. That's
Yeah.
right. This is a shandy beer that we're about to have.
Which you introduced me to many moons ago. When you first did this, I was like, what is this? Why are you doing this, Dan? Why are you mixing lemonade?
Well, here's the thing.
Lemon. This isn't lemonade.
So
per
for
se,
folks who
but-
don't know what a shandy is essentially a beer mixed with lemonade, right? And in these times that we currently face,
Times of hardship.
that's, I just thought that was the best thing we could muster, was just having a bit of a beer with a lemonade. That's, I needed one. Frankly, folks, that's the place I'm at right now. I needed a good old shandy. So we're here, we're drinking, we're starting the show off with a shandy because, frankly, we could all do with a bit of a hard liquor.
Well, no, we
at this time.
we got chicken, and they always give you a drink with it, and
Well, that's right. We got dinner.
We never really drink the drink.
Yeah, the drink is always a bit of a...
I
Because
don't always want it.
we're
so,
more
you
of an
know.
alcohol kind of guy.
Yeah, so if you can mix it with...
Could you pass me that jackknife?
Yeah,
Jack?
sure. 'Cause that's my name. That's the thing, though. Like, if you don't... Unless you have, like, spirits or something, you can't really mix it with anything, so...
What, the soft drink?
Yeah.
Now, one of these beers that I packed into the cooler box under the table is...
Oh. Did you get that?
What have you done?
Well, I hate to about
Look at
spirits,
ye.
but- Oh, God, it's going to be all sticky. Sorry. Sorry.
So one of these drinks that I packed into the cooler box is is super fizzed up. So I hope it's not this one. If it is this one, I will just have to catch it with my
You're fine, I reckon.
mouth.
That's where it's going anyway.
But you take it. What's the best way to do a shandy again? You start with.
You're the shandy man.
I believe you start with the lemonade. That's right. You
Oh.
start with.
Bro, you should have said. Well,
Unlucky. No, so you start with
I'm a glass half full kind of guy.
the best way to do it is you start with the lemonade. No, it doesn't really matter how you do it. It's more because if you start with the lemonade, and basically the rule of thumb, folks, is to basically do half. So if you can see my about half, and then the reason that you prefer to do the lemonade first, which might be displayed by Connor's, is that you get the fizz. You get the head. And in this context, folks, we don't want head. And in this context alone.
Oh, God.
Like now that I've got the lemonade already in, I pour the beer. I love how I've got the switcher right on my lap. So
if
you
anything
pour
happens,
the
it'll
beer
be-
in, and then see the head is just so much less
Yeah, you're not wrong.
that you don't
I thought we were going to
have to
chink.
worry about it. No, we will chink. I fill it up a bit high.
What are we, soul and bag, man?
Yeah, we are.
Did you get it?
Cheers.
Did you get
Soul and bad, man.
'Cause it's
Oh, what,
like
drinking
urine.
our piss.
it? Yeah.
I love drinking piss with you. It's sinking piss. That's what they call it in Australia. But
The fizz is really gone in mine.
I tell you what, though. Well, here's the beauty of a shandy is that as you drink, you can either pour in more beer or more lemonade.
pop. Yeah.
That's right, more pop. I like
That's
that
the
word.
Brits say.
Yeah, pop's a great one.
Yeah.
So there you go. So basically, you've got the option to fizz it up more, to harden it up,
Needs
make it
more
a
fizz,
a
yeah.
real drink.
I'll have to do it because look at the fizz coming out of yours compared to mine.
Yeah, that's right.
Mine's dead and yours is like ready to roll.
Yeah, it's no, that's right. So you've got a.
Fuck, I was
it's a
gonna
bit of
wait
a
for you to. I was gonna wait and ask you. I don't know why I didn't.
It's okay. It's a bit of a fine art.
I
But,
thought it wouldn't matter.
Well, here's the thing. And this is kind of what we wanted our first topic to be because, we're starting off with liquor. I'm sure everyone's having a good old experience with liquor at the moment, being inside so often. But, drinking is something that, first of all, not everyone drinks, which is, obvious. But
Well, give it time in quarantine and.
well, that's right.
else are you gonna
Anything
do?
can happen. But basically, not everyone drinks. But the thing is with alcohol is that most people, almost everyone who has alcohol attests that, when they first had it, they didn't like it and it wasn't an enjoyable, or that, it's an acquired taste. It's something that you have to learn to enjoy.
Yeah, certain ones are. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, certain ones, not all of them, but, it's interesting that, and sometimes too, the drinks that you like at the start of your
Yes.
drinking.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, become drinks that you just don't enjoy. You know.
Yeah, it's weird like that.
It's funny because I mean cruisers are a great example of like, and cruisers are actually not that bad. They're quite tasty, but
Yeah.
you know, younger kids really like cruisers.
Yeah.
Because when you're younger, you're so used to drinking soft drinks that cruisers is kind of the closest thing to it.
It's like
so
one that can get me drunk, sign me up.
yeah, so it feels like familiar. But once you start drinking a lot, you start drinking beer, even like ciders that are a bit harder, a bit stronger, you can taste the alcohol, like the roughness of it. And then when you start drinking spirits, you know, vodka, whiskey, tequila, all that kind of shit, it's just got that harder taste that is so different from soft drink that you can't, your taste buds adjust, you know?
Yeah, I think I started with cider. I mean that when I really started to like when I was like 18. Obviously,
Right. Well, you
before
would
that,
drink
I
like what you would binge drink. You know, what I mean.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
obviously, you know, there was maybe two dozen occasions before that where I would steal my dad's beer. Do you know what makes me laugh? You'd understand this, but like
Yeah.
now I understand it. I when I was a kid thought my dad would be none the wiser, but what I would do was if we're having a party, dad would normally go and buy a case and I would take a 6-pack for myself.
Right.
Which would be a lot for me back in the day.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
normally 3 cans and I'd be on the floor.
Yeah. No,
But I
of
would
course.
take 3 for me and 3 for Johnny. But that 6-pack out of 24, if you know a 6-pack's missing.
Yeah, you notice it. Yeah, that's
So-
very noticeable.
I didn't think logically through because I was like, I don't think he'll notice
they wouldn't
6
notice,
beers
yeah.
missing. And he would, but I think they let it slide with the old. I mean, you must have stolen
Of
beers.
course. Well,
but they knew, but they wouldn't never really
well,
come
for
up
me,
to us.
it was more like and you know, this is I think I'm not sure if I've talked about this before, but because my folks were actually so open with me about drinking growing up, I never really went into the whole rebellious stage.
Oh,
of
I see you.
drinking.
There were no.
Does that make sense?
You know, sneaking the shandy under you.
Yeah, well, because I didn't need to. Like, if
Yeah.
I was at I remember my first shandy. Actually, a shandy was the first alcoholic drink I ever had. Did you know that?
Look at
That's
us.
100% serious, and I remember it. And there's
That's why we're here.
there's a photo of me.
Drinking
I,
your first
I
shandy.
need to try and find that photo, but
In
there's a
South
photo
Africa, yeah?
somewhere. No, it was here. It was in 2011. It was like just after we moved here. And I had the blues a little bit because I was missing my friends. and I
Yeah,
think
take
it
this.
might have
This
been...
will cure all your
yeah,
problems.
it might have been Christmas maybe, or it was some event where all the family was around. And I think it might have been Christmas. And I think it was like, oh, it's Christmas. Because I would have been 12. And Dad was like, all right, come on, Dan. And he poured me a shandy that was quite light. Like, it wasn't heavy. I mean, shandies are already light. Do you know what I mean? And then...
I was it a Bud Light on top of that. Like.
Yeah, it was probably like a fucking Carlton Zero shandy, but no, so it was already a light shandy. And he poured it to me, and I remember they said, they were like, all right, Dad, now don't drink it too fast.
Go.
Literally, I fucking was like,
You sat down and told me, you said another.
hit me.
I think the first time I really ever got drunk was at
I was trying to be cheeky, and then my
New
parents were
Year's,
like,
same, yeah.
Dad.
That's the thing. Like, after a while, it gets
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah.
obvious because I was like, I think it was 2013 New Year's.
Mm.
It
I
was- so it was
had
like
that one,
2012,
and then
it
I
was
think they poured me
obvious.
like one more shandy, and they were like, okay, that's all you can have. So
And that's when you sneak some.
overall, that would have been literally like 2 beers. So, you know, nothing that, nothing that's going to kill a 12-year-old.
I don't think anyone would be mad if they.
I think what was nice was
Sort
that
of.
it was the but what I'm saying is it was the social acceptance of it, of like, you don't have to sneak a beer. If you want to try some, just ask us and you can try some. Do you know what I mean? And I remember like growing up, if they poured like shots that they would all have, they would let me have like one shot.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, obviously they would keep having shots and I wouldn't
Yeah,
be
me too,
allowed to
yeah.
keep having shots, but they would let me have maybe like 1, maybe 2. If it was like Christmas, maybe 3. You know what I mean? Like, and this was over the course of, you know, being 14, 15, 16. So it was very, very little, but it was so open and positive that in the ages of like 13, 14, 15, when a lot of my friends started to drink, you not being one of them at the time, I didn't feel the need to do it with them because I knew they were all doing it as an act of rebellion. Does that make sense?
Mm.
They were all doing it because they were like, my parents wouldn't let me do this. I can't get away with this, blah, blah, blah. Whereas for me, I was a bit like, that doesn't make sense to me because if I want to have some, I will. why are we doing this just to be cool? You know what I mean? And so that was kind of part of the reason I didn't take on to drinking for a while. But then when I was 16, that's when I started drinking. And once I started, I was, Lord help me, you couldn't stop me.
It happens.
Oh, actually, it might have been even 17 when I started drinking. But anyway, my point being, once I started, the thing is, once I started, I was so positive about it. And it was and my dad was, he was happy. There was I was doing it for the right reasons, if that makes sense. I was genuinely doing it to just have a good time, I wasn't doing it to try and...
It came out of nowhere because you didn't want to do it for a long time.
I think the problem was that I associated...
Yeah, I know.
All acts of drinking.
It's been a big fucking joke
but what I'm
time that we've known Dan is like how he would just be so fucking... Aiden of all people who doesn't really drink at all anymore.
Yeah.
And me were always the people to be like, let's do it. And you and Deck were always like, fools. And we wouldn't do it a lot. We'd be maybe,
Look,
maybe 4 or 5 times a year.
I didn't necessarily... Maybe I did, but I don't think I ever looked at you guys in that cliche way of like, oh, you idiots, like all that kind of shit. I just had this thing in my head that I don't want to drink, but what I was meaning was I don't want to drink for the wrong reasons. Does that make sense? But I couldn't quite...
Becca's party.
Yeah, well...
You outside were...
God, that was crazy.
Yelling at me and Aiden.
I tell you what, if I could redo... I'd redo a lot. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, because we went to a party in like year 9, I think it was, and like everyone was getting drunk, and we all got really drunk there. And Dan was invited but didn't go. And then I remember Aiden got a bit out of control and was like running around the garden and stuff. And then I called you and I said, "Look, you got to come sort Aiden out because he's been a bit of a twat."
By the way,
he nearly got beaten up. By the way,
you did. Your call was very.
Was it?
You were like straight up having a panic attack.
Yeah, because I was
and you
drunk
were like,
no, because Aiden nearly got.
No, I know.
A fight with
but I'm just saying, it's not. It's not like I heard you guys were drinking, and I was like, that was like my bat signal. I was like, I need to come and save them. Like, you asked me very like desperately to come and help. Oh, I haven't even plugged in the fucking speaker, so we can't hear the.
I don't know about that. I think
we'll agree to disagree.
He rocked up, and then. Yeah, like, but you just, you seen, but then I don't remember specifically, but it was like, we just started to have like,
yeah, look, I do think that like, again, obviously there's no good looking back on things, but if I could have gone back, I wish I'd gone to that party. I wish I'd drank.
Really?
Yeah, I wish I just had a good time. I wish I'd just gone to have a good time, if that makes sense, because I know I would have enjoyed that memory. And the memory I have of that night, I don't enjoy having.
Yeah, you're just hanging out with Declan like a...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that sounds boring as fuck.
Well, do you know what we did? We had the girls over.
Yeah.
And it was a bit weird, I must say.
Why?
Well, I don't want to talk shit, you know what I mean? It was just a bit weird. Like,
off camera.
Yes, this ain't Sam Jones, all right? We got to keep this on the record.
Sorry, I didn't know that. Well...
No, it wasn't bad. It was just, it was classic 13, 14-year-olds... guy and girl who have girlfriends and the girlfriend's friends. It was just the classic like
so you had awkward no one there to be
teenage.
To.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was just awkward and we were trying to all be cool, but none of us were. You know what I mean? It was just.
Well, the way to be cool would be go to the party, which we didn't.
Well, and I should have.
Didn't go to.
I should have, but no, I'm very glad that when I did start, drinking and having a good time, I was doing it for the good reasons. I really enjoyed it, but Shandy was the first thing I really enjoyed, and. Then, like I said, I had a few shots of miscellaneous things over the years. When I went to Mozambique was when I first started drinking, and that was beer because everyone there was drinking beer. And they had this really cool one which was called Flying Fish, which I need to take you to. Well, one day we should full on go to Mozambique, which would be hilarious. But
can we go there?
What do you mean? Like, would it be legal, or do you mean? Or
I'd love to go to Africa. I just would be a bit scared.
No, totally. I'd be your fucking guide. But what I was gonna say, so in Mozambique, I started drinking beer. But they had this really nice drink in Mozambique called Flying Fish, which is basically a pre-bottled shandy. It's like beer with a bit of. It's not lemonade. It's kind of lemon juice.
Lemon bintangs. That's a fat shandy.
Yeah. It was like the same as the lemon bintangs we had in Bali. Yeah, it was just like that.
Shandy.
Dude, those were fucking great, man.
Dude,
those went down like a charm.
I would just order like 4 at once in the room, and it'll cost like $8.
So you said you started with cider then? That was your first.
Yeah. So a little bit.
That
of
was
beer
your first
here and there.
poison.
Yeah, a little bit of beer here and there, and then I would definitely go to cider, and then I went to the UK, and my friend, cousin, introduced me to rum. And I was so against spirits. I was like, gross spirits. He's like, just try this. And this is England where you can get 5 like rum and cokes for like, free rum and cokes for like £5.
Yeah, honestly.
Which is like so
Bro,
cheap.
booze prices in the UK. Oh my God.
Best place on earth. And you can order like a £10 dinner and it's like huge and you can get like dessert.
Honest to God.
Like £2.50 pints. We need to go to the UK, is what I'm saying. Like, we just need to go there.
No, we do. We seriously do.
Like, we need to go on some trips.
Well,
like,
we need to go because that's kind of our heritage a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
It's funny though because I think we've both embraced the Australian experience
now
quite
we
a
need to
lot.
go embrace the British one.
Yeah, now we need to go home. We need to connect to our roots a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so cheap as well. The booze is so cheap. Like, you order Jaeger bombs, like
you know how
legit Jaeger bombs.
you know how like Jewish people get to go on like a trip to Jerusalem and like discover like anywhere around the world, like
girls, pretty much.
Well, yeah, but it's more to discover their Jewish history. We need to go back and discover our British history.
Just spend the whole time in the pub, pretty much. Just drinking.
That's interesting because
spirits. I love spirits now.
Yeah, for me, my first,
Not
like
on
I
the
said,
rocks.
my very first one was a shandy. But when I started drinking beer, and the reason for that is because my dad and my family has always drunk beer. It's funny though because I don't know if my dad drinks. So my dad drinks like cruises and stuff, not regularly, but like when he's at home, he'll occasionally have like a cruise or something. But always when it's a family event, he'll have a beer. And I don't know if that's a bit like an alpha male thing of like show off in front of the boys that you're not a fucking pussy. But he's always drunk, and and not just him, but all the cousins and everyone has always drunk beer at the and the uncles and blah blah blah. Beer was always the go-to drink in my family, so that was where I started. And that
you didn't like it at first, though.
I didn't love beer, but I became used to it quite quickly because, like I said, I had tastes of beer growing up, if that makes sense. So I was familiar with the taste, and for me, I was so familiar with it. And cider, which is what a lot of kids our age started, boys and girls. Girls very much started on cider, but a lot of boys were on cider in year 12 and stuff like that.
Yeah, they were.
But that's because
Even Mitch, which is like mind blown.
Well, and I think because cider, like I said, it tastes a bit more like soft drink. It's a bit sweeter. It's what you're used to at the time. And I'm not saying I was used to beer or anything, but for me, even at the time, it was just a bit sweet cider. Not all cider, but just...
Nah, you always said that.
And I tell you what, I enjoy a bottle of cider, but I couldn't ever drink 6 in a row. Even back in those days. Like, I could drink 2, maybe 3 in a row, but then I'd go, oh, I need a beer or something to
What about like a fucking crisp cider on a hot-ass day at the pub?
Oh, I would love it. I would love it. That's what I'm saying is I can have it.
There's nothing like having it's for me, a cider is more of an enjoyable drink.
I genuinely enjoy it. No, that's the thing. I genuinely enjoy a cider. A beer I enjoy less, but I can have more of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I can drink 10 beers in a row without, obviously over the course of like 2 hours.
Really
but
sweet.
yeah, cider I just can't really drink multiple ones in a row. It's a bit like something like a Coke versus water. Do you know what I mean? You can drink water all day, but you would get sick of drinking Coke after like 2 liters. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. That's kind of how I've always seen it.
And then the beer came in. I swear, I used to drink cider at the pub all the time. Mitch used to fucking rip into me every single time. Every time we do rounds, he'd go up to buy he'd say the cider isn't for me, by the way. He's such a cunt. He would always... That's such a classic thing to Mitchell to say.
I love it.
Every time he'd go up and get a cider and a beer, he's like, I'll just let you know the cider isn't for me. How fucking insecure do you have to be just quietly to do that?
That's hilarious.
But, yeah, and then I one day I went to get around and I came out with a beer for myself.
Whoa!
I'll never forget it. He almost fell over and I was like, I'm drinking beer from here on out. And I remember the first couple of weeks were just like me going like this, like...
Yeah. Do that again. Show that to the camera.
Just like going like... I don't know you, but
so funny.
Do you ever like... Are you ever like drunk sometimes and you go to finish like your...
Oh, bro.
And it's in your mouth and you just can't swallow it. You're like...
I do that. Sometimes I'm like, I know, when you need to skull because you're like, you need to go or something and you're like...
And then you get to the last bit and you're like... And then you swallow it and you do the old dry gag.
Yeah, you're like...
You're like, this is not right. I had it at the beach yesterday. I had to finish... I had like 8 cans at the beach yesterday with Mitch and I got to my last one and I was like...
It always depends on a few things, hey, because sometimes it's like how quick you had it or how much you have in your stomach. Like, there's always...
It's just the end bit's always so flat.
Yeah.
Especially those are really fucked at the end.
It also depends on how... I feel like there's a certain speed, because I feel like if you drink them too quickly, then that obviously goes to your head. But if you drink them too slowly as well, that can also be a bit hard to scull them. Because it's like you're getting to that shitty part of the end beer, you know, where it's like starting to get warm. You know,
and you gotta watch what I hadn't eaten yesterday when I went to the beach and had beach beers and like, man, I went home and I was fucked.
What, from the beach beers?
Yeah, but it wasn't fun. It was like, I gotta go upstairs now. No one's been drinking at the beach like me. I actually felt really shitty about myself.
Yeah,
and I had to have dinner, and I went to bed. I swear on my life, I went to watch Curb. And I don't know how I did this, but I started watching an episode. And the only reason I realized I was watching the wrong episode is because I started halfway through one. And then I went to do something. I went to the beach, obviously. And then I came back. And then I was like, oh, this is the start of a new episode. So what I thought I'd done is I'd skipped the one I was resuming.
Yeah.
And I just started the next episode.
One.
But it turns out I wasn't.
Playing.
It was series 1, episode 1.
Oh, really?
For some reason,
Oh, that's weird.
I clicked resume and it went to 101. And I was watching it going... The next episode must start playing. Or why did it do this? And then I go to cancel off and it's like series 1, episode 1. I'm like, the fuck?
That is very strange.
But just stuff like that's not... I was just in my bed and I'm like, oh, I just feel like shit.
Oh, God.
Well, I didn't want to drink yesterday.
Yeah.
And then Mitch called me out of the blue and was like, I want to go to the beach. I'm like, yeah, go on.
That's probably the best way to segue into what we've got to talk about next. Because the thing is that, you know, obviously, as everyone knows, hey, look, we've been pretty good about not bringing it up this episode. Yeah, maybe we won't get monetized. We won't get demonetized. Not that we get monetized anyway. But so, you know, at the moment with the current global situation, the historical event that we're all living through right now, what is there to do other than
drink beer?
Yeah, have a bit of a drink, watch some movies. There are a lot of people watching movies, Netflix, and honestly play games, which is what we've been doing a lot.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
We'll talk about a few.
I'll make the font bigger.
Yeah, I said last week that I'd downloaded Modern Warfare 2 on the remastered version. I haven't put my PlayStation upstairs yet. I really want to check out that 4K remaster on a 4K TV.
Oh god, that would be beautiful. But I will say one thing that's interesting, because I'm not sure if you've seen this, but a lot of the streaming websites, YouTube, Netflix,
they've downgraded their...
Yeah, well, they have and they haven't. So basically what they've done is they've made it so that their automatic resolution is slightly lower.
Automatic, it goes to like, so what was it, like 480 or something?
Yeah, standard definition. So if you have your settings set on YouTube or Netflix to like auto, it's slightly lower than it would normally be.
I always change it because I can tell.
If you're someone who changes it specifically, you're still going to be fine.
We always do though.
Yeah, I do as well.
There's no
especially when like, we'll talk about this later, but especially when a new episode of Better Call Saul comes out, I always make sure I'm getting that in the fucking 4K beauty.
I always load it before in 4K and then go in the shower.
Oh yeah.
So it can like render.
Yeah.
And then, mate, there's no way I'm watching an episode of Better Call Saul when...
Well,
it did that yesterday. My stand was on medium and I was like, oh, no, you don't.
This week's episode, I had to reload the beginning like 3 times because, well, my TV, what it does, well, I don't know if it's my TV or the app or whatever, but it loads for like a second and then it freezes frame while it's loading in the background and then it plays, but like you've lost 5 or 10 seconds of the episode, if that makes sense.
Right.
So like it freezes and then when it cuts back to it, it's full HD or 4K, but you've missed a little bit. But you know, at the beginning of the episode, they're scrubbing the car. Yeah. So I missed that, and then it cut to like blood, and I was like, "Whoa, hold on!" So I had to rewind it. It was literally just the first 15 seconds. Anyway, no, they don't. But anyway, no. Back to what we were saying. So obviously, a lot of people watching movies, TV. But one thing that we've kind of been doing, which, and I think we'll both admit to this, is not really what we'd expected. You know, because we're not we're not gamers. You know, well, I would say we're not gamers anymore.
Kind of hated it for a while.
Really?
I don't really want to do this. No,
Wow,
I'd say
interesting.
so. I wouldn't say I really liked it.
But we both used to be
Heaps.
big
yeah,
into
we used to
games. I
play
mean, the
heaps.
kids, teenagers are usually very much
I
into
used to be
games.
gassed about games, man.
Oh, I loved them. And it's very interesting that it's taken a fucking global pandemic for us to, rekindle a little bit our enjoyment for video games and really get into it. I guess partly is the time. That's a big one of it, is just having the time. Also, no offense to games, but it's also just not having anything else better to do, So that's a big part of it too. But it is very interesting, isn't it? So tell us what you've been playing. Tell the lovely audience.
I've been playing for about 2 missions a day. I'll probably play one when I get home. I've been playing,
actually,
Modern Warfare. They're not long missions. They're a lot shorter than I remember as a kid.
Well, that was what we wanted to say as well, in terms of what we were talking about when we were a kid. So, we used to be, weeks ago, we'd be out in the pub socializing. That would be our thing. And now we can't really do that. So our we have games to do. And we actually ended up playing Modern Warfare 3 the other day.
We did, yeah. So
on Xbox.
It took a while, but we got there. We had to
oh my God.
bust out the fucking...
Because the fucking Xbox has batteries, not chargeable controllers.
Which we're just so not used to anymore.
It's just so annoying.
We had to, dig around. We found 2 fresh batteries, but then there was there's still another controller to go.
Yeah.
And it was like, where's this part? Where's the game now? And then
where's the battery pack and where's the battery fucking pack, and then the battery pack wasn't connecting properly.
This weekend I'm kind of prepared because I know Mitch. Me and Mitchell used to play Nuketown on Black Ops 1.
Yeah.
So this weekend he was like, I'd really love to play, which is very
Some
sweet.
video games.
He was
It
like,
is nice.
we used to come home from middle school and play it, and I was like, bro,
And,
I'd love
some
to
of
play that with you.
Some of the nostalgia is actually really nice to experience,
That's what Modern Warfare has been doing at the moment, man. And it's so weird. It's like,
well, that's the
I
thing.
haven't had
We
it for
played
years where how if you ever rewatch a movie from when you were a kid and you're an adult and you understand the storyline. Now that I understand the storyline, it's a fucking smart game.
You get all the
really good.
The stuff that you missed,
like the whole no Russian mission, which is obviously really controversial. But now I get it. So basically, you're an undercover American agent.
Yes,
that's what you're playing as in that mission, and then so Makarov knows the whole time. So you go through the whole airport killing Russians, like civilians and police officers.
Yes.
And then it came out in 2007. I'm not really spoiling it. As you go to get into the getaway car, Makarov shoots you because he knew the whole time you were a double agent.
Mm-hmm.
But then the only body of one of the people who did the massacre that's been found is identified as an American soldier. So now everyone thinks that America's behind all the attacks. So that makes everyone go after all the Americans and stuff.
Interesting.
Very smart. It's
so
a smart-ass game.
Why do you do... What is the point of the mission, though? Why do they send you to do it?
So basically it's they do kind of touch on it. Again, it's a bit confusing because I haven't played Modern Warfare 1 in a long time. But it takes off straight from there.
Right.
It's got a lot to do with Zakhaev and stuff, and Makarov's out to avenge Zakhaev.
Yes, there's a whole storyline. Well, one thing I was going to ask you, obviously, like I said, we played Modern Warfare 3, which, by the way, came out after Modern Warfare 2. And I remember when you were playing and losing to my skills.
I won that game. Yeah, I did. You were doing well for
Hold on.
I did.
No, I just.
We should so play that.
I'm joking around, but that would be great. Have a fat game.
Terminal,
No, I'm just having a laugh. But no, what I was gonna say is I remember you made a comment. You were like, you said that it didn't, the graphics were not great.
No, you so noticed.
They're pretty okay, but I was gonna ask you are the graphics of Modern Warfare 2
so good? Even noticeable on my shitty ass TV downstairs.
Yeah.
That's why I want to bring it upstairs for
and just see the full thing. Yeah.
Because I think they've been working on it for 4 years.
Really?
It's
wow.
ridiculous.
Well, I seen a couple of because I think you sent
tell.
a comparison. It doesn't look like they've just reskinned it.
No, it's
'Cause
weird.
well,
we're not weird about it. You can tell they've really...
Yeah, well, because obviously the
remodeled
Uncharted
characters.
games, they took the games and then they just added HD textures and stuff.
They've
So
remodeled characters, you can tell.
Yeah, so it's the same game. They've just put a fresh lick of paint on it, for example. But Modern Warfare 2, it looks like they've legitimately remade the entire game from scratch.
The audio
basically.
sounds great. I even have a few thoughts about maybe if they even got the original cast to come in and add a few lines.
Really?
I might be wrong.
I wonder.
I might be wrong.
Wow.
But dude, the voice cast is fantastic. I even looked up the cast yesterday, and it's so crazy. They look completely different to their characters, which is like crazy.
Yeah.
The voice cast is so good.
Isn't it something too? You mentioned the campaign. Isn't it something too that those fucking Call of Duty games used to actually have a proper story? You know, like
no. Apparently, Modern Warfare was really good. Well, not really good. But apparently, it was good.
The newest one?
Apparently, it was pretty good.
Wasn't it a remake of?
No.
Oh no, it was like a reboot, wasn't it?
It's just a reboot because Price is in it.
Oh,
and
okay,
like,
fair enough.
Next, they're doing like another Modern Warfare 2, and it's gonna have
my
like,
god,
like Ghost in it and so.
That's just that. Why do they?
It is weird, and the what annoys me is that I'm 90% sure it's a completely new voice cast.
Really?
Which throws me off the most.
Wow.
Because the cast of the original games are so good.
Just so that's
like
so
Price, you can so
too.
tell it's not the original. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they just changed.
Yeah,
their
who
voices
knows?
No,
but that's the thing. I mean,
like
wasn't there one of the game? Was it Advanced or one of the recent Call of Duty games just didn't even have a story? Wasn't it? One of them didn't have a campaign.
Yeah, I think there was the one before.
And look, I get that.
Was it World War II? No, I think that did have one.
I don't know, but I just feel obviously I'm sure those games are more aimed at multiplayer, and that's probably where they get a lot more of their money. But still, I just feel like you've got to put in a bit of effort for a story.
Be interested to see if the multiplayer gets added to.
Well, here's the thing that is interesting. A Call of Duty game that only has multiplayer, are people ever going to want you to remake that? Like, the only reason they remade Modern Warfare 2 literally was the story, because they didn't make a multiplayer, so they only made the story. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of hard work's been put into it. I feel like a lot more people would be a lot more reluctant to buy it. Not reluctant, sorry, more resilient. Is that the word? Resilient to buy it? Would be more keen to buy it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, whenever people talk about Modern Warfare 2 back in the day, I'd always be like, the campaign, they'd be like, that's great, but we love the multiplayer.
What about that multiplayer though?
And I would never play the multiplayer. I only started in like Black Ops 2, so I'm playing.
Well, that's the thing. I played the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, but I definitely put in a lot more hours into the multiplayer.
Interesting.
Yeah, man, that multiplayer was fucking so good. I remember playing hours of that with friends and
Really?
That was
That's the first one that really kicked off, I reckon.
Well, okay, so you said about, you and Mitch used to come home and play Modern Warfare 3. That was me, but it was online.
Yes.
It was like on the Xbox little headset.
Oh, those shitty ass.
Yeah, I would get home from school because the thing with the UK is that obviously there's not a lot of space, which you would think would mean people live close together, but I don't know this for sure, but in Australia, or at least where we live, the schools are a bit more within suburbia. So like, if you live in the suburbs, there's probably a school right near where you live.
You go to.
Whereas in the UK, again, I went to a bit of a posh school, so maybe my parents just looked for a nice one, but we didn't live very close to school. But not many people, almost no one that I knew at school lived close to the school. Does that make sense? So you couldn't like walk home with anyone. Right. Sometimes you'd get a lift with someone, but basically every day after school we'd come home and it was put on the Xbox, play online with my mates and play Modern Warfare 2, and we would just have a laugh and talk and chat shit. It was so good. It was amazing. It's
such a good. They used to be so good. I reckon Black Ops 3 was my last Call of Duty.
Yeah, me too. I
mean, they remastered Modern Warfare.
Even Black Ops 3 for me was like...
And the multiplayer and that. They remastered the multiplayer for that, so it's weird. I don't know
what
they do with 2.
Black Ops 3, even, that was the last one for me where I was... Even Black Ops 3 was not even that good. That one was the last one where I was like... I got enjoyment out of it for sure. But that was like, I knew. From that one, I knew I wasn't going to play anymore.
I took the multiplayer so seriously in Advanced Warfare, which is a game that no one really played. I took that really seriously. That was the first time I ever was playing multiplayer.
Was that one Kevin Spacey?
That was Kevin Spacey, yeah. And you could do it was the first one with the boost jumps.
Why isn't anyone asking to remake that game, that storyline?
I'm asking where the sequel is.
Bring Kevin Spacey back.
He dies, I think. Yeah, he does.
He does die. Whew, lucky they did that.
It's weird he's in it.
They're like, thank fuck we don't have to bring him back for the sequel.
I think he was the first like main big actor to be in
like A-list actor to do a video game,
which was like weird.
It's so funny though because one thing that I've been noticing on Twitter is like I've actually seen a lot of celebrities asking for The Last of Us 2, which is like
what they're like release that download.
Yeah, I've seen that. But like, you know, I'm seeing more, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I'm seeing more and more big celebrities actually saying they play games and enjoy them. But obviously now The Last of Us 2 is delayed.
I'd rather get the physical copy.
Oh, me too. I would as well. But by the way,
physical media alive.
we never really got into what I was playing. I am, because you never gave me the time to speak.
Man, fuck you.
No, just kidding. I've been playing Crash Bandicoot.
Yep.
Did you ever play that as a kid?
No, and even when I got to play the little demo on Uncharted 4, I was like, oh, you know, this is cool.
Yeah,
that's the first time I played it.
I played it very small amount when I was a kid, and yeah, it was fun. Like I never had it. I was only
Smashes
like I played
boxes
it
for a
with
living.
friends. It was cool. I was more of like a Mario kid. I think Crash Bandicoot was like the Mario for Sony. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like Mario for Nintendo, but you know, Crash Bandicoot was for Sony. So I never really played it, but I've been playing the remake and I've been really enjoying that on PS4. I've been playing Tomb Raider, the Rise of the Tomb Raider specifically, which I've been enjoying. I think it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, there's not much to say more than that other than just I didn't think I would be back into games. I honestly thought, because I have a few games, Rise of the Tomb Raider, I hadn't started playing until this whole COVID thing. And I bought it like over 3 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like I owned a game for more than 2.5 years.
You have though, like
that I never played.
You've owned like
I still own games that I haven't played, but I'm
that
hoping
one over there. You got the collector's edition for. Where's the? I don't know if you can see on the camera the one with the head.
The head.
Yeah, the little head there. It's behind the. Nah, I don't think you can see it.
Who knows? What? Oh, the Dishonored, that one.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, we can't see it on the
that.
monitor. I thought you were talking about on this.
No.
No, yeah, Dishonored 2 I own, but I haven't
You got the
played.
collector's edition and never played it.
Yeah, so, you know, I still want to. I think quarantine is the perfect time to play it, so I think I will get to it. Now, this is where we can get into the next segment, my anticipated segment of today. I've prepared this for you, Connor.
You have.
Are you aware of what we're about to do?
No, you said you're going to the shops, and that's all I know.
It's a taste test, all right? We've done a couple of
Again.
taste tests.
Yeah,
This
go on.
one is a bit of a meme. Now, I didn't even really mean for it to be this way, but this is kind of a taste test you might have either in quarantine or while playing video games, you know, that kind of thing. Let's just say that what we're about to taste test is something that, you know, let's say if you were stuck at home for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe you got in a shootout with twins who are hired assassins and
Is that?
you got spinal problems and you're at home and you decide to start a mental correction, but that's on the side. You know, what kind of chips would you want to eat?
Oh, not Fritos.
Fritos it is.
I
The
don't eat
grand
that kind.
reveal.
I can't have this.
You can't.
Nah.
So,
I can't have these. You knock yourself
you
out.
can't eat any of these.
Nah, I can't.
Why? Did you want to explain that?
I had this weird thing ever since I
Okay.
was like a kid that I've never eaten like
Chips.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Really?
Never.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
My whole life.
Did my taste test just...
Have you never
Fall flat on my face.
How long we known each other for?
I just didn't know you didn't like that kind of
Have
shit.
you ever seen me in 7 years?
I haven't really seen it, to be honest. Wow. Well,
I'm sorry, I never can. But
that blew a fucking burst in my
sorry.
bubble. No, that's all right. Well, I'll still present it because I think it was pretty
Sure,
funny.
it's a good joke.
Basically, I had Cheetos here, which everyone knows, Cheetos. And I also had Fritos. Cheetos and Fritos, right?
I asked for Cheetos, not Fritos, Marie.
Fritos. It's not that hard. So we've got these. But then I was walking around the shops and I was like, you know what?
Oh, you
I
poor
found this
thing.
party pack
You're
that
gonna do
said
another free.
Cheetos, Doritos, and Twisties. And then I was walking around more and I saw the fucking these, which are called Tostitos.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So what I had planned basically was a Fritos, Cheetos, Doritos, Tostitos taste test.
That is hilarious.
So
That is hilarious. I'm so sorry.
that was the test that we did have planned.
I genuinely, I generally couldn't, even if I wanted to. I'm really sorry.
No, that's okay. That's fine. Well, I'm going to have a taste if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Is that going to...
No.
Okay,
you go
well,
ahead.
I'm going to have
You
a
knock yourself
taste.
out.
And why don't we kill two birds with one stone here, and we'll half segue into the next
Okay.
topic while I taste test on the side, because obviously I'm going to have to eat. So our next topic was going to take us longer to get to, but now that we're here so quickly,
What do you mean? Oh, God.
next we were going to do a taste test.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. What we were going to talk about next was obviously that Cheetos Fritos thing. If anyone isn't aware, is a reference to Breaking Bad, which is one of our favorite shows. And at the moment, airing currently is Better Call Saul, which is like a sequel spin-off prequel
Pretty cool.
to Breaking Bad. And basically we love it. We think it's amazing. It's absolutely wonderful. But it airs weekly, so it's not like a Netflix show. So it airs weekly. But honest to God, and I think you would agree with this, it's funny because when it started airing, none of this was happening. But now it's airing and all this pandemic shit is happening.
Yeah.
And honest to God, it is like getting me through this. Like I am.
Oh, it's a brilliant show. It's so
I am
good.
looking forward so fucking much to Better Call Saul every single week. Like it's the one
Such a
thing.
thing to look forward to.
Every Tuesday, I'm like, yes, Better Call Saul.
Well, do you not check Twitter from 9:30 a.m. onwards?
Yes, literally.
Because you can't, because they fucking.
The only thing I
Dude,
saw.
there goes your
Oh,
text.
whoops. The only thing I saw in the most recent episode was on Twitter. I saw something about the twins. That's all I'll say. I won't say.
Yeah, but they put.
I
that
just
on,
I just saw they were going to be on it.
Like Saturday,
but what I was
Sunday.
so glad about that was that it was like in the first 10 minutes.
Why
Anyways,
do they do that?
Or the first 5
They always
seconds.
do that.
I know, but I was
That's the
not
one
really
thing I
pissed
don't
off.
like about their social media. Like, we kind of knew they were going to be in it, but it was like.
Yeah, you did. I mean, the one thing I didn't mind was that, like I said, it was so early in the show and it didn't really spoil what happened. You know, what happened in that episode was so...
Oh, Vince.
Oh, what a fucking episode. Do you just want to talk about what...
Well,
Tell me, like...
Vince does one episode per season, by the way, I should just say.
Vince Gilligan, the creator
The
of
creator
show,
of Breaking Bad, he wrote 100 episodes or so, like, fucking...
Oh, wow.
Nah, I'm just... That's thrown out
Wow.
there. Nah, he did heaps of episodes, and then he also directed them. He's a genius. Also, he wrote and directed El Camino, which came out in
Yes,
October
that's right, he did, yeah.
last year. And he co-created the show with Peter Gould.
Peter Gould, yeah.
Gould, yep.
Maybe it is Gould, I don't know.
And but yeah, he does one episode per season. Like he directs one episode per season. It's always one to look out for. But I remember when I watched the
Slowly having a Frito. Keep talking.
when I watched the I watched series 1 to 4 when it was already out, so I could just binge the whole series 1 to 4. So I wouldn't like constantly each week. I'm always constantly looking at like who was writing it and who's directing it, and then I'm always now that I'm watching it as it's airing, I'm really interested to see who when Vince's episode was coming out.
Yes.
So, but when I would literally just watch it when I was binging it, I could just instantly tell when it was like Vince's episode because it's like it's so noticeable. What the? How am I supposed to like do this when you're doing that shit?
I don't know.
How are your Fritos?
Well, if we're going strictly Fritos versus Cheetos, to be honest, they're both not great.
Really?
They're both all right. I would probably prefer Cheetos.
Where'd you get Fritos from?
The South African shop.
So Fritos aren't from America?
No, Fritos are American, but they sell them in South Africa as well.
Okay.
Yeah, South Africa has a lot of... Oh, well, okay, here's another taste test. I forgot part 2 of the taste test was a drink. Can you have a drink?
Fuck you.
You can have a drink.
You sarcastic twat.
I'm just trying to be sensitive.
It's my like I can't help it, okay?
No, it's fine, man.
Oh, you got another Sprite.
Well, so here is also another South African drink.
That's not Sprite.
This is called Sparletta. Hit up that close up. Sparletta cream soda, which is basically cream soda. It's here. It says product of the Coca-Cola company, sponsored, obviously.
Thanks.
And this is a drink that's very popular in Africa and South Africa, and very popular specifically within my family. My family loves Sparletta. It's one of those, I think they enjoy it partly because they enjoy the drink, but it's also, they drank it so much growing up and then they don't sell it in the UK or Australia that it's so nostalgic for them, if that makes sense. So it's a big thing of nostalgia for my family. So this is a big thing in my family. By the way, in regards to the Fritos Cheetos, yeah, I would say Cheetos is better. Fritos are good, but they're just a bit... Yeah, I don't know. Cheetos, I feel like, are easier to eat.
All right.
You can just chuck them in. It's fucking easy.
All right.
I will get to the Doritos and the Tostitos after we have our drink.
Okay.
We're going to have our Sparletta. What do you think of the look? How do you judge
It's pretty cute.
the presentation? It's
I
kind of
like
nice,
it.
actually.
I wonder if Mitch knows what this is.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
Might send him a picture.
Yeah, you should.
Low kilojoules soft drink.
Low kilojoule.
I assume that means low calories.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers. Wow, interesting. It's almost like not as sparkly, you know?
Mm. Yeah, it's an interesting drink, isn't it?
Do your family still drink these?
Well, they only sell them at the South African shop.
Yeah, but do they go and get some?
My mum actually got Dad some for his birthday. So it's one of those, you know, it's one of those, doesn't get drunk often, but every now and then, special
Did you say
event.
they mix this with alcohol?
Ah, not this one. So this is cream soda, Sparletta, but there's a Sparletta strawberry.
That's it.
I still have some Tipo Tinto in my thing, I think. Actually, no, I think I finished it.
You were supposed to give me at least a bit of that, remember?
I'll have to check. I might still have a little bit of it.
What is Tipperton's? Is it a spirit?
It's just, yeah, it's like a rum, yeah.
You were supposed to give me
But
some.
basically you have...
Fuck.
Damn. But basically you have Sparletta strawberry, and you have that with Tipo Tinto, and that's quite a famous drink, actually.
Wow.
Well, for Mozambique.
I just could have tried it, but you
Yeah,
know.
look at that. No, we will. I will find a way to get Tipo Tinto in this set.
Do they not sell it at
We
the,
will do a Tipo
South
Tinto
African
rum
shop?
taste test. No, I don't think they're licensed for liquor. So,
I don't sell liquor, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I will try my absolute hardest to get Tipo Tinto somehow into this country.
Unless we'll just have
Even
to
if
go
I have to
to
fucking...
go there myself.
Even if I have to be the bag man and fucking smuggle it in myself.
Got to go back to Mozambique, which will be a long time to get to go back there.
Oh, God. They'd fucking...
Very long time.
I'd be worried about dying from a lot more different things than fucking Corona down in Mozambique.
Ebola for one.
Ebola's not... Well, I suppose you'd...
It's a West African virus.
That's true. That's true. So what were we talking about? We were talking about Better Call Saul. So Better Call Saul, basically point is, week to week, it is just so...
Only 2 more to go.
Oh, man, I can't wait for the last 2 episodes and also the last season.
Yeah, it'd be
We've
interesting
we've
to see
said
where it
this
goes.
before, but honestly, folks, if any of you are watching this, if you haven't started watching Better Call Saul, you're going to want to watch that as the last episodes air.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be something you want to be able to remember.
I wonder, it'll probably be a long time till it comes out, though, because, like, they can't film yet and they haven't started filming, which means they're going to be filming for, like, probably 9-10 months, probably.
I was thinking that as well. They can't start filming until COVID is over.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be about maybe a year and a half, 2 years till we get
Before
it.
the next season, yeah.
Isn't that fucked?
I feel bad about it, but the only thing...
They'll take
I don't know
their
if it
time.
makes me, like, sadder or feel like, okay, at least everyone's dealing with it, but at least every single show is probably going to get delayed,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense. Like, it won't be just Saul. You know what I mean? Like, if it was just Saul that was going to come out late.
Well, not only that, it's also... not only just that, it's like it's also, what, a 13-episode season.
It's long. Yeah, it's longer
So
too.
it's
That's
gonna
right.
be
It's
3 more
longer. So
episodes
they
to
were going to
shoot.
take longer anyway. To be honest, I was going to hope anyway that they would take a bit longer to write it and like actually prepare the season because, you know, they want to make
No,
sure.
They got time for pre-production now, haven't they?
Yeah, well, exactly. They're going to have a lot of time to write it. They're going to have as much time as they fucking want, you know?
Well, I told you today I watched that. I watched the interview with Bob Odenkirk. It was through FaceTime, and he was just he was saying like I don't know what happens either. Like I'm literally speculating as much as everyone else is. He made a really good point. He's like, you know, in my first episode of Breaking Bad, I can speak Spanish, and I haven't done that yet.
Ah.
So he's like, and then the one thing he did say is like,
Maybe he learns, yeah.
yeah, but like, you know, in the first, like one of the first scenes of him, it's like, you
Yeah.
know, he's like assistant secretary, what's that? And he's like, God, you were killing me with that bootay. And he says that.
Yeah.
Apparently Sol was like, sorry, Bob was like, well, if Sol was with Kim at that time,
You don't think he'd be like that?
why would he say that?
Yeah, yeah.
So he was like, he speculated. He says like, I don't think she's around.
Maybe it's a character that he's playing, that Saul is playing, you know what I mean? Oh, that Jimmy is playing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but I reckon it's a big deal that Kim went
One
up
thing they're
to
doing
Lilo
very
this
well.
episode and said
And
all
again,
that shit.
I guess we're trying to do this in a way where people who haven't watched Better Call Saul still understand what we're talking about. But at the start of when Saul, the character from Better Call Saul, shows up in Breaking Bad, he says something about like, did Lalo send you? No,
Lalo.
Yeah, like he gets really scared.
It wasn't me, it was
He gets-
Ignacio.
Yeah, he gets
did
very,
it.
very scared of Lalo, this character Lalo. And one thing I love that they're doing so well is they're introducing, or they're setting Lalo, the character, up in Better Call Saul so
Lalo
that it
Salamanca.
makes perfect sense that he would react like that.
Lalo,
Do you get what I mean? Like,
Lalo.
if that happened to Saul, next episode, you would understand him reacting that way. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, like, you know, I feel like Lalo's going to be behind Kim dying, and
Well, who knows? Who knows?
I reckon that's why he has that kind of reaction in Breaking Bad.
That's why I'm so scared of him, yeah.
And then it has something to do with Ignacio.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't me. Well, obviously it all connects. Like, there's got to be a reason.
So, by the way, folks who were wondering, to top off this taste test, I had the Cheetos, I had the Fritos, I had the Doritos, I had the Tostitos. Tostitos were okay. I don't know if there's a better flavor of Tostitos. These were just lightly salted. And again, maybe there's a better
They're
flavor
good
of
for you.
Fritos because I had barbecue flavored. The Cheetos were cheesy flavored and the Doritos were cheesy flavored as well. I've always had a soft spot for Doritos, so I would probably give it to Doritos. Second place Cheetos, third place Fritos, fourth place Wah Wah Tostitos. What's the?
I think that's it.
I can't even. Yeah, let's hope because we got no speaker today.
So you got no Fritos?
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, Fritos are okay. Tostitos, yeah, that's the bargain bin shit. I'm sorry.
Wait, it's probably just healthy for you.
I don't want health
Yeah, I know.
in fucking quarantine. What do you think I am?
No, probably the reason why it doesn't taste great is because it's lightly salted. There's a reason for that. It's to be healthy.
Yeah. All right, Mister.
What?
Mister goes for a run every fucking day.
Thanks.
Mister has a bloody tummy tea.
What's the tummy tea?
Do you know what a tummy tea is?
No.
It's the shit that like Kim Kardashian and like all the Kardashians, you know, Instagram models like chill for it. It's basically like a diarrhea tea. So you like you
What?
make this, you get this thing. It's like, you know, protein powder that like guys have.
Yeah.
It's kind of like protein powder, but I guess they market it at women, and basically you mix it into your drinks, and it basically makes you have diarrhea. But it's kind of like,
Like a laxative.
yeah, it's kind of like the ass. Okay, here's how I understand it. It's like the ass equivalent of like bulimia almost. It's not that extreme, obviously, but it's kind of like you have it and then your body just shits the stuff out as quickly as you eat it, if that makes sense.
Right. It's just cleansing your body in a way.
Yeah, so it keeps, and the reason they call it tummy tea is because flat tummy tea. That makes your tummy flat because if you have it, it makes you shit out everything you eat so quickly that you barely get the fat from the stuff you eat. Does that make sense?
And Kim Kardashian stuff do this.
I don't know if they still, push for it, but they used to, really push that shit on their Instagram, sponsored post, on the story, all
So
that
it's
kind of
like,
shit.
You piece of shit, you're so ugly, you need to get this, otherwise...
No,
people
no,
fucking
it
hate
would
you.
be kind of like,
No, I'm saying that's what it comes across as.
it does a little bit, but the way they would do it would be like, oh my gosh, you should try. I just discovered this new tea. It's so good. It keeps your tummy flat.
I just discovered it. I just got paid.
I can't believe how effective it is. It's kept my tummy flat. I love it. Blah, blah, blah. Like, they would really fucking chill for it. It's a real...
Fuck them. I mean, this is people who look at this kind of thing and it's like,
Well, you know, media marketing, social media marketing is a bit of a gray area, if you ask me. Because how do you know? Well, you know, social media celebrities are very different to regular celebrities.
Yeah, but I reckon
They're different, but they're the same. They're different in the sense that the audience of a social media celebrity feels like they really know that celebrity. Whereas if you're a fan of an actor, you might see them in an interview and be like, oh, so they're actually a really different person than their character. I guess I don't really know who they are. But a social media star, you feel like you know them exactly. But that's also their brand. They're trying to brand you who they are, you know?
Yeah, but like, you know, I reckon one day we'll have to do some like, you know, sponsored shit that we don't actually care about, but we have to be like, oh my God, this is lit.
I hope that I can always keep a certain sense of like, people can tell I'm getting paid. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll say,
I see so many
well,
things.
I also,
like, you don't like this.
Yeah, I will say I wouldn't personally want to, you know, maybe I'll get to a place financially where I'm like, fuck, I need, you know, a Squarespace sponsor or something. But like, you know, I wouldn't ever personally want to take a sponsorship from a product that I don't at least think is decent. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't ever want to transition. Sorry, guys. I accidentally turned off the fucking recorder for a second. But what I was saying was, you know, I wouldn't personally want to take a sponsorship from something I don't at least like. I'd want to kind of, you know, enjoy the product a little bit. I don't know. I feel like there are certain people, not everyone, but certain people who just take money from companies that they know are shit and sell shit products. Yeah. And maybe it's a bit of a scam, but hey, I'm getting paid, so who cares, you know?
Yeah.
I would never want to be like that. I would only ever want to recommend to people who are, you know, because the social media celebrity, like I said, it's different to a regular celebrity. I think people trust you. People trust your recommendation, probably more than a celebrity's. And so if you're out there, you know, rimming this shit, you don't want to be scamming people. You don't want people to think that you're scamming them or selling them something that is just a shit product, you know? What do you think? Are you going to take a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship?
Yeah, probably.
Not to diss them.
I mean,
if they ever become sponsors.
Legends is good. That is everywhere.
No, that is look, I joke on that, but I mean, I'm sure that's probably a fun game. Like, it's probably not a terrible game.
Well, it's everywhere. Like, literally every fucking person's done like a Raid Shadow Legends.
I think the meme is more that those spots are so fucking long. They're like a minute long.
They are long, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, dude. You know, like, you know, we'll get like a MeUndies or a Dollar Shave Club or a NordVPN. Well, the thing is, like, if Nord came up to me and said, we want to sponsor you, I'd be like, I've literally been using your service for years. Look me up.
There you go. That's the kind of shit that's exactly what I mean. Like, I would want to take sponsorships from people. Rode, for example. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, companies that we actually use, we actually enjoy.
Yeah.
We really appreciate. I would love to take sponsorships from them. Look, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking sponsorships from a company that you don't use, but I wouldn't want to take it from someone I don't think is even good either. Like,
just do your research.
Obviously, the company that I use because of your recommendation, but also I had seen other YouTubers I watch.
What, Nord?
Yeah, it's NordVPN. That's the VPN I have.
Yeah.
I have seen YouTubers I like and respect get sponsored by them, and obviously you did it, and I trust your experience with it. So
yeah, it's either Nord or like Express.
Well, that's the thing. I got Nord, but if I was sponsored by someone like ExpressVPN or whoever the fuck, I wouldn't refuse that just because I don't necessarily use them myself.
Yeah, you know.
I would want to first and foremost make sure that they're a good service in general. But if I can see that it's a good actual product, I have no problem with promoting it, you know?
Yeah, I just think do your research before. That's about it. Or even ask for like a product sent to you so you can review it.
Basically, don't trust Kim Kardashian's tummy tea.
No,
just because she fucking tells you it's good.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, I wouldn't trust anything she says, to be honest.
Well, last thing we wanted to talk about in the show, last couple of things, was we went so long without bringing it up, but we kind of can't not bring up coronavirus. And yeah, no, I know, but we didn't bring it up. We didn't talk about it specifically. Obviously, coronavirus is still going on. Thankfully, we're still able to do a show with our appropriate social distance, etc. Look at ye.
Social distancing.
There you go.
Yeah.
And basically, you know, we're still able to do it. Still able to keep our distance. But it's ravaging the world. Boris Johnson, as we were going to bring up, is in the fucking ICU. He's in intensive care. So that's pretty scary. I mean, that's quite serious. You know, that's no laughing matter. That's he could die. And that's not even like a meme. You know, that's just Boris Johnson could fucking die.
Crazy.
So a world leader dying would be a pretty hectic outcome from this. You know, plenty of places are in lockdown, shelter at home, stay at home, all that kind of shit. Thankfully in Australia, we're doing pretty good with tests. We're doing pretty good with flattening the curve, all that kind of stuff. So we're very lucky about that. Australia is very large and very wide, so we've got the space.
Yeah.
We're doing very well. I think, and I've said this before, I don't think we'll go into lockdown. I think the place we are currently, which is basically, for those who don't know, pubs are closed, restaurants are closed, but they're still allowed to do takeout.
Takeaway, yeah.
Cinemas are closed. Nightclubs are closed. Even hairdressers, massage places, beauticians, they're all closed. So many businesses have been shut down. Grocery stores obviously are still open. People can work if they are deemed essential, but essential is a bit of a, you know, there are quite a few businesses that are deemed as essential. But people are not forced to stay home. You're allowed to go for a walk. If you want to go to the beach, and go to the beach. You know, you can travel. They have recommended no public gatherings more than 2 people, which basically, you know, rules out things like weddings. Funerals is a sad one. They made funerals only 10 people, but I think now it comes under the public thing. So I think you can only have 2 people at a funeral, which sucks. Especially if you have someone who dies from this disease. I guess you'd have to postpone the funeral, but it's just the situation we're in, you know, as shitty as it just is what it is. So everything's in a bit of a crazy place. That's just for the record. That's just, you know, so everyone knows where we're at. I don't think Australia will go any further than we have, just because I think what we've implemented currently is working, if that makes sense. Like, it looks like we're flattening the curve. We're doing basically what we can do. I mean, the thing is, if Australia ordered everyone into lockdown and to stay at home, first of all, you'd have a certain amount of people who wouldn't obey it. And then second of all, do we need it necessarily? I don't know. I'm not sure. But who the fuck knows? I couldn't have predicted any of this. So things could get worse. We could go into lockdown. Anything could happen. I just don't think that will happen. What do you think?
Probably not. No, I don't think we're going to lockdown. Look, it's shit.
I think things will just stay the way they are now.
Yeah.
For a couple of weeks, if not months. And it will be shitty. It'll be hard. But once it's over, we'll get back to... Again, I don't think we'll ever get back to normal, or at least the way things were. But people will... And things will begin to feel normal again, eventually.
It'll take a long time, though.
It will take a long time. In the meantime, thankfully, you all at home, you have us
We ain't
here
going anywhere,
producing podcasts. We're playing games, but I do think we both intend and hope to make some kind of personal videos on our channels.
Oh, the channels, yeah.
If we can. I think we both want to, because that's something that, you know, when we have all this spare time in ICU, in isolation, we may as well. Are you working still at the moment?
Mm-hmm. No, look, if I'm not at work, I'm going to be doing shit at home, so I don't think I'm actually going to be not working.
Well, that's right. That's the thing is I'm working still. I have a couple of shifts that I've lost. Not as many as I thought, which is a really thing I'm grateful for. But you know, like I said, things could get worse. Anything could happen. I'm not sure. I think things are in a tough time now, but I think things are just going to stay tough for a little while longer. You know, we're very lucky being in Australia. You know, we've got a good welfare. I was speaking to someone today at work who said she's down to 6 hours a week now, which is crazy. You know, she has a mortgage. She just bought a new car at the beginning of the year, a 2020 car. Oh. So she's got a car loan. So she's applied for the mortgage and the car loan to both be frozen. I don't think they've been accepted yet, but you know, you can't live on 6 hours a week if you have a fucking car to repay and a mortgage. So, you know, there are people who are in a tough spot, a really tough spot. And yeah, it's hard. It is hard. And she's a permanent employee too. She's not even casual or contract. She's a permanent employee, and they're not, you know, it's tough. It's tough for businesses. It's tough for employees. sucks for everyone. We didn't say this to bring you down, folks. What we brought it up is to book in the show, but also to remind you what we've got coming up. Okay, do you want to
Easter special, baby.
break the beautiful news? So obviously today is what, Wednesday?
Yeah, so Saturday's Easter Saturday.
Yeah, so Friday's Good Friday.
Yeah, Friday's Good Friday, yeah.
Sunday's Easter Sunday.
Saturday, and then Sunday's Easter.
Well, yeah, Sunday's Easter.
Yeah.
What do they call Sunday? Good Sunday, or what do they?
No, Easter Monday.
What do they call Sunday then?
Easter.
True.
Easter Sunday.
Easter, yeah, I guess. Anyway, so yeah,
Sunday, Easter.
Good Friday, Easter Monday. You know, we've got the long weekend coming up. We are going to film a show, an Easter special, so that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Doing all the different chocolate taste tests like I can eat. So
yeah, yeah, that's right. Next week we're going to have another show middle of the week, and then another show on the weekend. Well, that's how we plan to do it. We'll see how that turns out. But yeah, basically we've still got content coming out for you. Don't worry. You know, if you're having trouble getting through quarantine, just come to the bloody For a Laugh YouTube channel. You'll be taken care of swimmingly.
Twice a week, baby.
Yeah, twice a week. And it's ironic, isn't it? All this stuff that we've managed to start doing in quarantine.
What, because we've got nothing else to do?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
there is some things that I kind of hope continue the way they are now, if that makes sense. I hope that we still manage to find time to do 2 episodes a week, for example.
I reckon that's not.
You know, I think that there are things that we can hopefully take from this period and apply to the future. We'll just have to see.
But what are we normally doing on a Wednesday night? We're not really going.
No, we're not doing anything. It just took a fucking global pandemic to get us to
and we were normally filming one
get our
episode a
acts
week,
together.
even when there was shit not going down.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
We were filming one on the weekend, and now we can just film one on the weekend, one on the week, and it's doable. It's possible. You know, we just need to fucking do it and make sure we stick to it. So I think that's something we can and will do for you folks at home. We've been wanting to do this for a long time. I'm glad we're finally here. I think we're gonna have the irony is that for everyone, including us, pretty much, the year is going to be shit. But for this podcast specifically, probably the best year we've had. You know what I mean? You're gonna have
Episode 50 soon.
Episodes coming out. You're gonna have all kinds of things for you. So enjoy what you got coming. I think you're gonna love it. And yeah, you got anything else you want to add on end the show?
No, I'm just excited for Saturday. It'll be good.
I'm excited to keep this shit going. Thanks, folks.
It's a special, so.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, well, we haven't done a special since Margaret River.
I don't know. We're gonna have to find something special.
We didn't do a Christmas special, did we? I think we did.
No, I don't think so.
So the last time we did a special was Margaret River.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We've got a special coming up. I guess we're gonna have something special, some wine, some champagne, something to celebrate. You know,
we sure will.
Blood of Christ, etc.
Yeah. I guess we could.
I love it. Anyway, thanks, folks. We always appreciate having you. We appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
And stay safe out there in these terrible times. Cheers.
Cheers. See you Saturday.